In this episode, I'm going straight after that lightweight myth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 264 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm. When I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. And thank you for joining me on SoundCloud and iTunes for the podcast. Thank you for watching the side of my face on YouTube. I'm just kidding. I'm giving you the front of the face. And of course, thanks for watching live every day at 12 noon Eastern Time on Facebook at Swolenormous. And those of you that have been following me on Instagram and Snapchat, thank you for giving me feedback. Thank you for sending comments, giving me some thumbs up, flexing for me. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the emotion behind the Swolenormous movement. We are changing the face of fitness one bicep at a time, and we are lifting the veil on all the bullshit. We're lifting the veil on the bullshit marketing. We're lifting the veil on the bullshit products. We are going after all the quote unquote the fake foundation of fitness that has been created over the past 10, 15 years. And this illusion that things are easy, the illusion that some of these things work like magic pills. There's no magic. There's no replacement for hard work. And there's a lot of things, and a lot of what we're going to talk about today, myths that are out there that really get absorbed and get passed around like fact. It's like that game Telephone when you're 3 years old or 5 years old and you sit in a circle and someone tells you one thing in your ear and you tell the next person, they tell the next person. By the time it gets around to the end of the circle, and it's like, my mom doesn't eat snakes. What the fuck are you talking about? I said, I don't even remember what I said. The whole conversation changes by the time you get to the end of, telling the same secret to 10 people. So as you pass along information, things get twisted and things get warped. And let's discuss one of the greatest myths in fitness and maybe discuss a little bit why it came to be that way. And, hopefully it'll change some of your ideas when you go to the gym and realize that you have to step things up a little bit and look at it a little bit differently. So today is the lightweight myth. The lightweight myth. The lightweight myth is a very, very common myth. And this goes for both men and females that are afraid of lifting heavy because they don't want to get big. And I still hear the word getting, I always want to get toned. I don't want to build too much muscle mass. I don't want to bulk up. I get big very quickly. And I don't want to look like a man. If you're a woman, they're like, I don't want to look like a man. I don't have big arms, or I get big really quickly, and I don't get big traps, and this fear of bulking up. And first off, let's just talk about the word toned. And I've talked about this before, but let's just go after it again because it does still rear its ugly head. And I wouldn't talk about some of these topics in multitude if it was, everyone just stopped talking about it, and it wasn't an issue. But I still hear these words getting thrown around, and I've talked about on my podcast before how words are very powerful. Words are very important, and self-positive speech and affirmations and saying things like can to yourself instead of can't is very powerful. Language is very important to the human brain, and it's important that we use the right language when we discuss fitness. So toned, what does toned mean? A lot of people want to get toned, but what does it mean when you want to get toned? It means you want to build muscle and lose fat. There's this idea that you can build different types of muscle. Like, I'm going to build thin muscle. I'm going to build tiny muscle. I'm going to build little muscle. Well, either you build muscle a lot, but a little bit, or you build it a lot and a lot. Like, you build muscle or you don't. You develop muscle or you don't. You get bigger muscle or you don't. So toned is just a word for I want to be leaner. I want to be leaner. But how do you get leaner? We've talked about this many times. You have to lift weights and start eating better. And we were talking recently about cardio and how steady state cardio is a waste of time, and how interval sprints and interval style training and anaerobic threshold training is more effective. And that's where that comes into play. So you still want to build muscle. By getting toned, you want to build muscle. You have to build muscle. Otherwise, you're not going to tone anything. You're just going to have skin and bones. And you're going to look ripped. You're going to look like a fucking skeleton. You're going to look like one of these Victoria's Secret models. You need to hit those type 2 fibers. So how do you hit those type 2 fibers? Type 2 and type 1. You may have heard this before. You may have seen this in a magazine. You might have read this on the interwebs. Well, Papa Swole fucking Normous is going to tell you the difference between type 1 and type 2 fibers right now. Type 1 fibers are those stabilization muscles that are deep inside the body. They are a part of other larger muscle groups as well, but they comprise mostly those stabilizer muscles because type 1 fibers, their job is to provide low levels of force for a long period of time. They are endurance fibers. They make up large quantities muscles in the calves. They make up pretty much 100% of the diaphragm, respiratory muscles that need to be active all the time at low levels of intensity. We need type 1 fibers. And there are type 1 fibers all over the body, even in bigger muscle groups that are superficial like the pecs and the biceps. They're there, just in lower quantities. Type 2 fibers are fast twitch fibers. Type 2 fibers are fast twitch, they're designed for high force output, and they don't have a lot of endurance. So when you get big, when I do the I flex, you flex, we all flex our motherfucking biceps, when I flaunt the guns, those are generally type 2 fibers because type 2 fibers produce a lot of force. They don't have good endurance, but they're able to get larger in size. They're able to hypertrophy more. So you want to develop those type 2 fibers. You just don't want to develop them a lot, maybe. You want to build muscle, but not a ton of muscle. You don't want to look like a fucking bodybuilder. And I get that. That's really what you're trying to say when you want to get toned. You don't want to get huge. So you want to do exercise that increase force production and decrease endurance. So this just throws out lightweight. It throws it out the fucking window because if you're doing lightweight, doing a lot of repetitions, you're working more endurance style exercises. You're doing more endurance. If you're going lightweight and you're doing higher repetitions, what are you really doing? You are working lower levels of force for a longer period of time. You're doing endurance. Less weight is more endurance. You're doing endurance style training. So you're hitting more type 1 fibers. And the issue with this is that type 1 fibers don't hypertrophy very well. They don't grow very well. And they don't metabolize a lot of calories. And they're not going to need to repair as much because they are able to handle low levels of stress for long periods of time. They are designed for it. That's what they are meant for. So when you go to the gym, when you're trying to get toned, when you're trying to build, when you're trying to shred, when you're trying to develop muscle tissue, you got to hit those type 2 fibers. So you have to start lifting heavier. Males, females, you got to start lifting heavier weights. But what does that mean? It means going to failure. But it means going to failure from anywhere between 5 or 6, more around 6 reps, 6 to 15 repetitions. But that's failure. Yeah, Nick, be a fast twitch motherfucker. If you're not watching this show, if you're listening or you're on YouTube, if you're not watching the show live on Facebook every day, you got to check it out at my Facebook page at Swolenormous. You have to watch it live. The comments are hysterical. And I do see you guys. I do see what you're posting a lot of the times. You have to keep the rep range between 6 and 15, but to failure. You have to go to failure. There's so much counting. And we talked yesterday about stopping counting so much. You need to go to failure. So you need to get to that point where you can't do another rep. When you start getting to that failure, when you get to that limit, when it starts burning, that's when you need to start counting reps. That's when you need to start assessing what you're actually doing. Because when you start burning, when you start getting to failure is when the reps start counting. That's when you're pushing your body past that threshold. That's when you're forcing your body into an adaptation mode. If it doesn't burn or you stop every time it starts getting tired or it starts burning, if you stop every time, that's what your body's adapted to. You're not going to grow unless you push past that. You push through that. Throw some negatives, do a drop set. You have to push yourself to that failure. And if you're not getting that failure, within 6 to 15 repetitions, you are doing weight that's insufficient and you're doing reps that are too high to target those type 2 fibers in large. Now, doesn't mean you can't ever do a high rep set. I talked about this as well. You got to mix it up. You got to be crazy a little bit. But we're talking consistently, regularly, being dedicated. What you do all the time is what your body is going to adapt to the most. So you have to make this style of training more of your focus, doing the failure in that hypertrophy rep range, 6 to 15 repetitions. So increase the intensity and increase the weight and decrease the repetitions. You don't need to be doing 20 reps and 30 reps. I can't tell you how hard it is sometimes to get a woman to, and I'm not saying, anyone, but generally women don't want to bulk up, to get them to lift. I'm like, no, you pick up a 15 pounder. Oh no, it's so heavy. Yeah, it's fucking heavy. What is this fear of heavy weight? Stop being so fucking afraid of lifting a weight. You're in the gym to lift weights. Pick up a fucking weight. Pick up a fucking weight. Your purse weighs more than that, but you're afraid to lift a heavy weight. And I'm not being sexist at all, but I'm about to go off the rails on women right now. And this is a positive because you need to wake the fuck up. All right, I'm already off. I'm already raging. Okay? This goes for men too. This goes for anyone, but I'm gonna look right at you ladies. Okay? And I have an episode that says lift heavy ladies, and I love women. And you are strong. And I think there's this fear and there's this belief that women aren't strong or women shouldn't lift heavy weights. And a lot of women don't like to go to the free weight section. You gotta fucking lift heavy. Women, by the way, have a higher pain threshold than men. Did you know that? Women have a higher pain threshold than men, a higher pain tolerance. And that's just genetic because for childbirth. So women can actually push fucking harder and I always say this, and I said this I say this a lot, and I say this a lot to people in person too, that when a woman trains hard, no one trains harder than a female when they go hard. And I think it's because of that pain threshold, and it's because there's that lioness in there, and women train like animals, but you have to get them to that point to believe that they're not going to get big. And here's the thing, you're afraid to lift heavy. You're afraid to lift heavy, but you're still a human being, and you're not going to get big. Mind blown. Mind blown. There's little gears blowing out of people's fucking heads right now. You're not going to get big. You're not producing testosterone like a man. You're not going to get huge. And this goes for everyone. I love when people say, oh, I want to lift heavy weights. What do you recommend for me? But I don't want to get huge. You know what? I really wish getting huge was that much of a fucking problem. I wish you would go to the gym and be like, oh man, I don't want to get huge. Let me not do too much. I wish it was an issue. I wish getting huge was that fucking easy that you had to avoid getting huge. I don't think people have any concept of how hard you have to work for how many years to get huge. People don't give enough credit for people like myself and other people that have built muscle mass and built physiques. It takes such relentless year after year after year after year after year after year of hard work and lifting heavy for fucking years. Clear out your earwax. I'm saying years. And I'm not saying 2 years. I'm saying 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 years of lifting heavy to get big. To get big. And a lot of people lift that long and they don't get all the results because they didn't do everything right or they didn't push themselves hard enough or genetically they're not able to. It takes fucking years. It takes years. Like, I don't want to get huge. It's like with Arnold's famous quote, and someone comes up to him and is like, Arnold, I don't want to get as big as you. And he said, don't worry, you won't. Because if you don't want to get as big as someone like myself or someone that's like a bodybuilder style physique, don't worry, you won't. Because you obviously don't have the dedication and the motivation and the discipline to do so. It takes so much work every fucking day for years. So stop being afraid of bulking up. And women, if you start lifting weight and you're like, oh, my arms get big really quickly. No, they don't. I'm so tired of that. They don't get big very quickly. They don't. You might get some cellular inflammation. You might retain some water because you're dehydrated and you just haven't trimmed the fat that's on top of it. Trust me. I've seen plenty women that lift a ton of weight and they're skinny, they're thin, and they're shredded, and they're cut, and they're not taking anabolics. So don't tell me if you start lifting heavy that you get big arms. You're getting bigger arms because you have inflammation and the muscle is growing and you're not eating properly and you're not trimming the fat on top. So you're getting puffier because you're not doing everything else correctly. Or you're not giving it enough time to start shredding up because most people will start lifting heavy for a week or 2, maybe 3, and right before they start seeing progress, they quit because, oh my God, my arms are getting a little bigger. It's like, no, they're not getting bigger. You're just pushing the fat further out. You have to stick with it so your body can still change gears. Whenever you try something new, don't quit. And yeah, I appreciate everyone. You guys are blowing this shit up. I had 75 viewers or something today, and that's the first time ever. And it's all thanks to you. Now, here's what I'm going to say that's going to relate for this podcast back to the fitness. What if I stopped? What if I stopped doing live broadcasts when I had 10 viewers, when I had 5 viewers? Just so you guys know that are new to this, I've been doing this every day. This is the 264th consecutive Daily Swole that I have not missed a day. And I was doing about 20 before I renamed it the Daily Swole. So it's been almost 300 straight days of being here at 12 noon Eastern Time. I have done full broadcasts to 0 people. I have been live for 1 person. I've been live for 2 people. I've been live for 9 people. I go live every day. It doesn't matter who the fuck shows up. I love it when people show up. I love it when people show up, and I owe all of this to you because all of you 66 people are in here, and you're in here and you're watching me. But what if I stopped? What if I stopped when I did it one day and I got 1 person? What if I stopped when I had 0 people? I mean, do you think it's easy? Do you think it's fucking easy to do a live broadcast when you see the I and you see 0 next to it? No, it's not easy, but I did it anyway. And if I stopped then, I wouldn't have 60, 70, 80 people watching today. I wouldn't get 100 people a day listening on SoundCloud and likewise on iTunes and, 50, 100 views on YouTube. There's a lot of people watching this show every day in different ways. There are people watching it live. There are people watching it after. Once this ends, they rewatch the broadcast. They watch it on YouTube. They listen to it on the podcast. There are a lot of people that consume this show every day in different ways, but it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that. So when you're in the gym and you're not getting results right away, or something that you're trying doesn't catch fire right away, think about it. If you quit at that moment, if you quit today, what if tomorrow is the day that it really starts taking off? What if you just kept on going for 1 more week? What if you just kept on going for 1 more week? What if you just kept going for 1 more week, for 2 more days? What if you quit today and it's Wednesday? What if you just kept on going? What if Friday you looked in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, I've never looked that lean before. And you got fucking inspired and you started crushing it all weekend. And then your results just started snowballing and you just changed your life and it just cemented your journey for the rest of your life. What if it just took 2 more days? What if it just took 1 more day, 1 more week, 1 more month? Would it be worth sacrificing? Would it be worth just putting the effort in a little bit more? A lot of you quit right before you start seeing results. A lot of you quit right before you start seeing results. And that's sad because if you just kept on going, you could have seen all the results and gotten all the benefit. You never know. You'll never know if you fucking quit. And yeah, some things might not work as well as others. You have to try different things, but don't be duped into the thought that lightweight and higher repetitions is going to help you build muscle, because I am here to tell you it absolutely will not. Building muscle is so much harder than you can ever fucking imagine. Don't underestimate water retention, cellular inflammation, and don't underestimate your body's need to switch gears. It's like a train when the wheels spin at the beginning. It takes a little bit of time for the wheels to catch. Yeah, when you change your lifting style, you start going heavier, it's going to take a few weeks for your body to start adjusting differently. So you might look different, you might feel different until your body is able to, catch the momentum. So don't give up too early. Remember, everyone, right now you still have this chance, and let me just reiterate, share this broadcast, tag someone in the comments with hashtag Swolenormous Premium, and you can win a year subscription to my private accountability group, Swolenormous Premium, as well as a 15-minute one-on-one with yours truly, Papa Swolio fucking Normous. What up, Esposito? What up, bro? Okay, I'll repeat that one more time. Share this broadcast, click share, and also tag someone in the comments with the hashtag Swolenormous Premium to win a year of Swolenormous Premium, as well as a 15-minute one-on-one consult with me, okay? So make sure you tag someone, make sure you share this broadcast, blow this fucking shit up. And you guys know that the new goal is 100 live viewers. I want 100. And that's not for the ego. It's just, I'm just excited that this thing is getting, is going the direction it is, and I love spreading the fucking gains and the mental growth. I'm having so much fun with these broadcasts. So please share this broadcast. Let everyone know that it's every day. This is every day at 12 noon Eastern time. Every day at 12 noon Eastern time, you can catch me every day right here at Swolenormous, and you can watch every episode on YouTube. You can listen to every episode on SoundCloud and iTunes, so you can consume the Daily Swole in every single way. And here's another little tidbit. If you need to find another episode, because I have a lot of you asking me questions that have already been answered many, many times, which is fine. There's no bad questions, but I've already discussed these topics in length, and you could consume a lot of this information on your own and, might answer your question right away and a lot easier than waiting for me to respond if I'm busy. So what you can do is you go on YouTube, and in the search function on YouTube, just open up YouTube, type in whatever keyword, let's say biceps or quads or calves or abs. Type in, losing fat or lifting heavy, whatever you want to do, whatever you would normally search for, and then Swolenormous. So let's say lift heavy Swolenormous, and you'll get all the episodes that pull up that have those keywords and hashtags for lifting heavy, or let's say cardio or sprints, and it'll pull up because they're all tagged properly. So you can literally, it'll scan through all the episodes that I've done. So just type in whatever keywords and then Swolenormous, and it'll pull up. Or you can look through my channel. Also, on my Instagram channel at Swolenormous, I am posting daily clips from the Daily Swole and also quotes from previous episodes. So instead of sifting through all the other episodes, if you're not going to listen to them all one at a time, you can check out the quotes and check out my Instagram, and it might give you some insight into like, oh shit, let me check out that. It sounds pretty cool. So I am posting little snippets, little quotes, little clips from previous episodes that you can, maybe you'll find some interest in and then go check it out yourself. Aside from that, thank you for watching me on Snapchat and messaging me. That's where I do all my vlogging behind the scenes. So follow me on Instagram stories and Snapchat for the latest posts, for the latest shit that's going down. Snapchat's hysterical. So if you enjoy Papa Swolenormous and when he fucking rants and rages, definitely follow me on Snapchat. And again, if you share this broadcast and tag someone in the comments with hashtag Swolenormous Premium, you enter to win a year membership to my private accountability group right here on Facebook. That's a great family. So it's private broadcast, private program design, exercise demos, yoga videos, stuff like that in Swolenormous Premium. And also, you also will win a 15-minute one-on-one consult via Skype or FaceTime with yours truly, Papa Swolio fucking Normous. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 264. I will catch all of you tomorrow for episode 265. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. And this, on the Daily Swole, this is the place where the hump day means two big fucking biceps, like a damn camel. Ho, ho, ho. When I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me for the most muscular podcast in the realm. I am about to rage. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow for 265. Later.